Hello, everyone. Let's see. This whole thing of people are in the waiting room and you have to let them in. Buddha.
Hi, guys.
Hi. Let's see. When I have to pay attention to who I'm supposed to be letting in, is there not a way? Let's see who else is on here. Kayla, are you on here?
Kim, you look beautiful.
You what?
You look beautiful.
No, I showered and put on makeup today. It's Monday, Jacqueline, but thank you.
I helped stage a house with Megan. We were working.
Well, just so you know, I was on a call with Brian on Friday on a video call, and he goes, "Dear God, I don't think I've ever seen you look this bad." So today I thought I better like put on some makeup and not look like a dead person.
You're so cute.
But thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's see here. I am going to attempt to monitor this to make sure I let everybody in. I do not like this new format that Zoom is doing for safety, security, what have you. I guess people are having their Zoom meetings hijacked. Like if they want to hijack ours, go for it. You might learn something, get a little smarter, get some free therapy. Who knows? Let them in. So I just know it's going to be a huge distraction because I'm terrible at multitasking. Okay, but we're going to get rolling. It's good to see some faces. I mean, not all the faces, but some of the faces. Thank you all for being brave and showing up on here. It helps a lot. I don't know how many of you all have had to conduct a Zoom meeting and be the host, but when you are the host and no one can speak, it's brutal. Because it's like you say something and then it's just crickets and silence. So it's all weird. So please be mindful at the bottom of your screen, there is a little chat box there. Since I have this open, any comments, any questions, whatever we have rolling through here, just raise your hand and let me know. I have not automatically muted everyone, so feel free to take yourself off mute unless you're like a loud chewer or have barking dogs or crying babies or any of that fun stuff. So we are going to get rolling. So my focus, first of all, happy Easter. Did everybody have a nice Easter? A little different, but anything cool that anybody did that you want to share? You can either unmute or type it in there.
We went to my wife's mother-in-law with a happy Easter sign. She's in her mid-80s and she really can't get out, and the smile on her face was worth $1 million.
Aww, just something a little different, you know? Very, very different. That was sweet, Joe. Who else?
We had 15 family members from Florida, New Jersey, South Carolina, and Columbus, Ohio on a Zoom call yesterday. That was kind of fun, all from the ages of 2 years old to probably 85.
Oh my gosh. Good for them for knowing how to Zoom.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a crash course in it, right? So, anything else? Any other Easter shares? Good to roll? Back to work? Okay. So, happy 1 month anniversary. Of what? What have we been doing for a month now? Believe it or not, right? It's been a month. So a month since this all started and came down and we were told to lock it up and lock it in and all those fun things. So I know that we are all in different places as far as what we're doing, how we're handling this. I have not come across too many people that I felt were in denial. I think a few of us maybe in the beginning were a little, hopefully this isn't real and hopefully it's going to go away quickly. But I don't feel like we have a lot of those people. As I talk to people outside of our organization, and even some of my own family members, there are a few of them. So the thing that I wanted to talk about first and foremost was just your mindset. What are some things that you all have done to help you get through this? Because I know, is anyone here quarantined alone? Anybody staying at home alone? So Joanne, just
Hell
raise your
no.
hand.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, there are several people that are, you're alone, staying home. So how are you dealing with that? If you care to share, feel free. You don't have to take your microphone off mute if you don't want to share, but what are some things that you're doing to cope?
Talking on the phone a lot.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So she said she's talking on the phone a lot. What are some things you all are doing, even if you're not staying by yourself? What are some things you're doing to get through this? Because it's very different. It is very different, and it is not going away. So, you know, one of the things that I was just in watching over the weekend, so I'll go through and I'll it's this bunny trail of following off links, right? And watching everything. And it looks like we have just come to the point where we're stabilizing a little bit as far as people admitted to the hospitals. Not by any means, we're not out of the woods. I'm just saying we have stabilized a little bit. So with that happening, it's probably going to come a little more, I don't want to say lackadaisical, but right, maybe a little easing off of some of the standards that have happened. And then when that happens, we can expect for there to be an influx of people catching, spreading, all those types of things. So right now, as we come to this leveling off, and then people start to say, okay, well, you can go back to work, or you can go to your offices, or you can do this, or you can do that. Well, then we're going to have more of an influx of the virus, which is going to lead back to, so if this all starts to level out and these things start to happen, then you can look for, in the last quarter of the year, probably another quarantine situation. Right? So looking at all of this and realizing we're going to be in this for a little bit, and how do we sustain? How do we stay on track with just life in general? Because I'll tell you, I have my days of today I'm super productive and I'm on it and I'm getting so much done and check, 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 you know, and then the next day it's like 3 o'clock and I'm going, did I brush my teeth? You know, there's been like this, a huge imbalance of what is your norm, right? My norm used to be I got up at a certain time. I was out the door by a certain time. I did so many calls in my car from point A to point B. You know, it's very regimented. And that being said, being where I am now, I get a lot more done in a lot less time. I don't have the same interruptions. I'm not stopping and starting like I come in here, I'm in my little cave, and then at the end of the day, I come out. And so, and it's been, for me, it's been a blessing to have my family here because they're super supportive. They'll bring me lunch in or bring me some water in or whatever. You know, they've been very thoughtful of understanding what this is. And I think that in their minds, they're thinking that this is temporary. So not to say that they wouldn't be kind and thoughtful all the time. It's a lot easier when you think
Like
it's
you're supposed to be.
so the thing that I would love to see you all, so as I was thinking about this, I thought, okay, let's just say that for a month I've blown it. I've blown it. I haven't done anything I was supposed to do for a month, and I've got to get back on track. And what that looks like for me mentally, emotionally, financially, right, all of those things. Because like I said, right now we're in a different place than we're going to be 90 days from now. So what do we need to be doing right now to make sure that we have some sense of security, whether that be financial or emotional or whatever, right, on down the road? So I came across, and let's see if this will let me share my screen. Oh yeah, here. So I came across this. Can everyone see that? The sample GPS? Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. And I will post this on our Facebook page. And this is just a regular 135 GPS, whatever you'd like to call it, for a goal of a certain amount of listings taken to be actually pending by June the 30th, okay? So that's a very specific goal. And each of you are gonna have your own. It doesn't need to be this. I just love having this because it gives you the opportunity to me, to focus, right? To have this one thing that you can just look at and watch and see and be able to focus on. So priority number 1 is the database double down. So the first strategy was to just update all of their information. And that may sound simple, but not. Let's see here. This is driving me crazy. I feel like I'm working more hours than I do. Yes, agreed. It's crazy busy and not necessarily going anywhere. Yes, and I'll put this GPS up on the Facebook page. And then I'm not sure, Kayla, if it's gonna let you, can you watch the chat?
I can watch the chat.
Thank you, because I'm also getting pop-ups of people that are coming into the meeting. So I'm having a hard time. I'm like, squirrel, 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 squirrel. Okay, so I started doing this. And what I did was even little things, like I just started at the very beginning of my database and just started going straight down the list. Because when I had Scott Leroy move all of my contacts over, gosh, like a year ago. And a lot of them, like my husband's name is Troy. So a lot of them came over as Kim Troy Buckner, and we were all in one thing. So it's been going through individually, separating out those people. Also, so what I do is I open up my command, my contacts in command, and then in another browser, I open Facebook, and in another browser, I open Instagram, and in another browser, I open the MLS, and in another browser, I open up the PVA, which is what we call it in Lexington, Kentucky, the Property Value Administrator. So it's kind of like the county clerk's website. And I keep all those browsers open, and then I just open up, right? And if I'm opening up Joanne Sage and I'm looking at her contact and I'm going through and making sure everything is correct. So for a lot of mine, I only had Facebook information in there. So then I went over to Instagram to see if they had an Instagram, and I linked that in. So now all of a sudden I have Facebook and Instagram profiles for all my people. Why do I need those?
So you can follow them.
So I can follow them. Why else?
So they can follow you.
So they can follow me. Why else? What's a feature we have in command right now? Ads. Who said that? Cool. Bree. Woo, woo, Bree for the win. Okay, so because you have a little thing right now in your ads, there's a little toggle button. And one of those is that you want to market to a certain demographic, whatever, like for leads. And then another one is if you want to market to your database. So if I wanted to send something out specifically to my people, I could click that. And if I have their profiles linked in through command, then that's going to be highly effective. So while I'm here, I mean, literally when I'm sitting down with my family watching a movie at night, I have my laptop in my lap. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just toggling back and forth, right? Now, sometimes I'm going to actually focus and pay attention and watch the movie, but 9 times out of 10, no. If I'm going to be sitting still, I'm going to be doing something. So when we say update all the information, do that. If you have issues with that and don't know how to do that, please, please call me. No shame, no judgment. It's just one of those things that you've got to take the time to sit there and go through it and do it. I'll be more than happy to help you with that. Strategy 2, they said 50% of downloads, 50% downloads of consumer app. So there's actually smart plans in there now for your app. And it's a domino effect. So you have to have everything set up, right? You have to go into your Kelly guides. You have to set up all of your systems and make sure that your app is in there. And then you can set up your smart plans. So there's all these steps. And if this is something that you all would like for me to do, like maybe a Loom video on or just a class and post it on our Facebook page, I'll be more than happy to do that. The ads right now, in my opinion, I'm following the 5 and 7 thing that we talked about in the class that I taught. So 5 to 7 days, $5 to $7 per day. And literally, I have gotten off of this one ad that I started. It's not been out for a week. We've gotten, I know, 20 leads, and one of them turned into I want to go look at houses. So I know that's not always going to happen, but I just want you to know it's a possibility. And so if you have these systems set up and in place, and I spent $30 on that ad. So there's that. Wait, let's see. Chat. Let's see. Joe's talking to millionaires. Somebody said they want to hear more about that, Joe.
I have my big whales list of 100 people that are all worth $1 million or more. And I just started cranking calls today. Most of them own properties. So my leading dialogue was, hey, how did your April rents come in? And they want to know what everybody else's April rents came in at. You know, I got 98% of my rents. You know, one guy goes, I got most of my apartments, I got some of my warehouse, I got killed on my retail. So we're just sharing information, and these people know a lot of people, and they can refer clients to you. And I had really, you know, I had a 20-minute talk with Keith Brown today. Sue knows Keith Brown, longtime realtor, and we just talked and exchanged ideas. He goes, I'll call you when I need you. And his daughter is a realtor, but he gives me his business.
Well, he's going to parent hell. Just saying, that was funny. Okay, good. 2 people smiled. I can't see everybody's face. But on that, and I'll share this with you all now. I was going to share it with you all later, but part of contacting your sphere of influence, ask if they're ever considering investing. This is a perfect segue. Thank you, Joe. You can go to kellerinc.com and you can download the MREI PowerPoint class, and you can actually teach it over Zoom. So there's a whole PowerPoint for a millionaire real estate investor. Now, if you've never done that before or worked with investors, please don't teach that class. But what Joe's talking about right now, just having that conversation with one person who has said that he would refer other people to him, that's huge. So if you were able to have a little Zoom event or an online class where you could teach something like this, that would be perfect. So I'm going to put that on here. It's just kellerinc.com. And you can get on there and actually download the PowerPoint for that class. So having them download your consumer app. And then you could say, they didn't put a specific goal in here, but you could put that X percentage of database growth. Maybe I want to grow my database by 10%. I'm telling you all right now, a simple way to grow your database. Go through your last 10 posts where you had people like, comment, whatever, and cross-reference those likes and comments with your database, because I bet they're not in there. Because that's what I've been doing, and I'm shocked at the people that I communicate with on a regular basis on social media that are not in my database. It's insane. So that piece is not going to be hard. It's just a sit down and do it. And you're going to have to block the time, because I'm telling you, once you sit down and start, you could, the last time I did this, I looked up and 4 hours had gone by, and I could not believe I'd been sitting there that long. So just block your time, especially if you have other things that you need to be doing. If you don't, have at it. I think that's a great way to use your time. Care calls to all database to include value offer with Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered. So what Joe was just doing, what he was talking about, that was a care call. But when you're also talking to them about value offers, being able to refinance their home for free with Keller Mortgage, being able to reduce their insurance costs with Keller Covered. I have a text message that I send to my people. So what I do is I call them, I have a conversation with them, and then I'll say at the end of the conversation, hey, I'm going to shoot you a text with the things that we were just talking about. Let me see if I can find the last one. And yeah, here you go. And so I will just literally send them a little text. And this says small business loans, SBA.gov or Huntington Bank, different things with Chase and Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered. So, and then I just copy and paste that and send it to everybody. So, and then the last thing is in that category, smart plans with neighborhood snaps. So I had noticed that a lot of my contacts had, I had assigned a neighborhood, but then for whatever reason, Command had picked up other neighborhoods and had started sending them like maybe 5 different neighborhoods. Has anybody else had that kind of thing happen? Have you all seen anything like that in your Command where, you know, well, let's just say Holly's one of my people in my database and I'm sending her a neighborhood nurture and I had assigned a neighborhood to her. And the next thing I knew, there were like 4 or 5 different toggles back and forth that she could choose from. So I was just going in and updating that, making sure all of that was accurate. And that just takes a while. You know, obviously the bigger your database, the longer that something like that is going to take. So out of these 5 things that we've just done, who can come off of mute and share some things that you've done that you'd be willing to share with us? Something similar, any of these things?
We're doing our care calls. We've committed to making 10 per day. And we also set up the platform through Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered so that it's an extremely easy link to send directly to your client.
I didn't do anything that high tech. I just did some Popeyes and left a dozen eggs at some of my top referral type people and got some really good responses and good conversations. I just left them on their porch and we talked on the phone.
Oh, that's awesome though. That's awesome. When you did those.
But Sue has chickens, so she just didn't go buy the eggs.
Yeah.
You gave them like farm eggs?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The top 5 people that refer me business all the time, you know? So I say, hey, I'm going to be there in 5 minutes. I'm going to leave this on your porch. Just wanted to check in and make sure you're doing okay. And invariably, every single one of them called. And we had great conversations. And,
yeah.
You know, so that was.
I mean, it's just
low tech.
so, little things like that. Yeah, that's wonderful.
So Kim, it's interesting because I'm never home and now I've been home for 4 weeks. I'm reconnecting with people in my neighborhood. I mean, I'm doing a ton of baking and I'm taking things, you know, cookies, cupcakes, whatever it is that I'm baking, sweet rolls, and just sharing the wealth because I can't eat all this stuff that I bake. And it's really rekindling. And a lot of the neighbors I really didn't know that well. And there's a bunch of signs out now. Thank you, first responders, Amy Acton fan club, all these signs. So we bought about 20 of them. And we have an email thing for our whole neighborhood. And I just sent out an email saying, yeah, we have these signs if you want one. Now our street is just full of these signs, which is kind of cool. Plus we live on Acton Road, which is Amy Acton Street. And so, but anyway, so just little things that I never take the time to do is what I'm doing.
Well, it's just a lot more personal, you know, and Sue, if somebody had said to me, you know, oh, Kim, You know, you've been guilty in the past of not thinking of everyone, or, you know, you pick and choose who you want to touch in your database. I would have been like, no, I don't. And I sat down yesterday and I just made this little graphic for Easter. And basically it was like a little quote about Easter. And then it just said, love from the Buckners, Troy, Kim, Devin, and Morgan. And I sat down and I just individually from my phone just started texting it. We had sat down after dinner and they were wanting to watch a movie. And so I just started texting these things out. And I sent them to over 80 people. And as I was coming up on names, you know, I would come across one name and I would be like, oh my gosh, you know, and so excited to send it to them. And then I would come across another name and I would think, oh, it's been so long since we've talked. It would be weird for me to send them this. Has anybody ever done that? Where you just think, okay, this is going to be awkward because it's been so long. Like, why would I want to send, you know, why would they want to get an Easter message from me? I thought that literally for a split second. And then I was like, no, you're just going to send it to them all. And so I would send it and inevitably back would come up, oh my goodness, I love you so much. I miss you. You know, and there was always this positive response. So the biggest aha that I got out of yesterday was that people want to hear from you, regardless of what you think your message is, or regardless of how much value you think that you have at the time. It's they want to hear from you. One of the names when I was going down through here, one of the names that I paused on was Diana Kokoska, because I have not talked to Diana much this year. It's been a busy year. I've lived on a plane, yada, yada, yada. And Diana is not one of these people that you call and then start telling her all of your excuses of why you haven't been in touch. You can't really get away with that with her. So it's caused me to kind of not, you know, so, but I sent it to her anyway. I sent her, I went ahead and just sent her the little text and just said, counting my blessings today, and you're one of them. Love you so much, Kim. And she replied back, I love you too. Have a happy Easter. You're a blessing to so very many. And that just made my day. She didn't judge me. She didn't say, where have you been? So my point is, someone who can be very, very judgy, if they were forgiven or if they were forgiving, anybody can be. So please don't overthink these conversations or these text messages or these emails. Brian, when you did the care calls and you said you sent them out information, did you all do that via text or email? Or Jamie?
Both.
Okay, so is it kind of however they prefer to do it, or did you send it both ways to everyone?
No, we're doing it per person, how they prefer to have it.
Yeah, so, and you're gonna do that right now when we have the time. Excuse me, I'd say you'll probably do that more. And then, but you're just gonna have to get a system in place. With all of this, you're gonna have some kind of a system. So the next one was unmet lead generation. Command leads integration. So now you can actually search by your leads. Well, you've been able to for a little bit, but when it first came out, you couldn't, and you had to just like search by date. Who would, Jamie's brand would know that. I'm trying to scroll this around so I can at least see somebody shake their head and be like, oh, you're not crazy. Okay, there we go, thanks. But now you can actually sort the leads and it shows you the lead source. And then I think I posted the Facebook lead follow-up plan, the touch campaign, on our Facebook page. If not, let me know and I'll put that up there. But you all can do ads for anything. So we've just got to get creative. Like for instance, even if you don't have a listing, you know, go back when you've sold a new construction. That's going to be my next ad. Is going to be a new construction that we actually sold a few months ago. But I want to have, now that we've had this success with ads, I want to keep it up. And so if I can spend $100 a month and get 75 leads, or even if we get $100 a month and get 100 leads, and we're showing houses to 2 or 3 of those, I'm fine with that. So it's tracking it and knowing what you're doing, but it's the follow-up piece right? It's going to be the follow-up piece and having all of these systems set up. So this next one, new lead generation sources. So I shared with you all, I'm telling you, my biggest one has been Facebook, because I think all of us have thousands of friends, followers, whatever on Facebook. And we just don't see those as people that we have in our database. So what are some things, if I'm talking about Facebook being my source, what are some other sources of lead generation that you all have come across or figured out or started doing in the middle of all this? Anything new?
I mean, mine's kind of just like how Sue said, like we have our neighborhood like association book that I want to like start, just even writing them letters or just trying to find more information about them there.
Absolutely. And you know what, Jacqueline, my cousin in Kentucky, the one that I was staying with the first week, their neighborhood really, the neighborhood itself reminds me a lot of Sue's neighborhood. But they do have a lot of really young families that live there. So she started this whole thing with their neighborhood association where they posted something different in their window every Monday. And so, like when this all started, it was shamrocks. So they all did shamrocks or rainbows or, whatever. And they put those in the window and they did like a little scavenger hunt, so to speak, of those. And then this last week they did something for Easter. But everybody had to put something on their door and you had to, or in the window in front of your house. And so when families would go out walking every day, they would take pictures of them and post them. So when you all are talking about, or when we have been talking about in group coaching sessions in the past, starting Facebook groups and having these groups that what if it's a neighborhood group? And you may already have a page of, the regular HOA stuff, but let's start one of, I don't know what you want to call it. Do you want to call it quarantine? Do you want to call it, whatever, I wouldn't call it quarantine, but maybe call it something else, right? But create a whole new Facebook group of different things that the neighborhood can do. So for instance, one guy I saw, they had each family took a picture, they colored out eggs on a piece of paper, just on a piece of paper, like construction paper. They colored eggs, and I don't remember how many each family had, doesn't matter. And they glued them onto popsicle sticks. And then they had to put those popsicle sticks, hide them in their front yard somewhere. So near a tree, near a bush, near the door, whatever. And they did a neighborhood scavenger hunt. And different blocks of the neighborhood went at different times. And when you went and you found the egg, you didn't take the egg, you just took a picture of it. And then you posted it. And so they went around and they did like this virtual Easter egg hunt. So I'm just saying there are things you can do right now, whether it's, we used to flamingo people's yards or whatever. Now you could do sidewalk chalk in someone's driveway to let them know you care about them, or, to make them smile and brighten their day or what have you. But there are so many things you can do right now with Facebook groups that can help you increase the size of your database. So we talk about new lead generation sources. We used to do things like we would tailgate at football games and, you can't do those things. So what are some ideas? Let's go off of that. What are some things that you can think of, some new lead generation sources?
If you could get enough forms, you could put it out there that if anybody needs the form to vote absentee for the primary in the state of Ohio, for them to text you or email you or message you, and you would make sure they got one.
That's awesome. That is awesome. That's another thing that you can put in your group, right? Whether you break it up by districts or however you do that. But that is something that you can literally do from your computer at home. That's a great idea. What else?
Well, I was going to say just being resources for information about what's going on. I've seen people posting about forbearance, make sure that people understand what that entails. I started getting calls from lenders this morning that clients of mine had seen the Chase requiring 20% down and change all that, the credit scores and debt to income ratio. And we just need to that stuff and put it out there and not be alarmist about it. Cause I don't think the Chase news is yet as bad as taking it this morning. And my lender said Fannie and Freddie haven't even really weighed in on it, but it was kind of concerning if somebody just took it on its own. So to make sure you're getting information out about that is critical.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, just on that, we were just talking about that a couple of hours ago on the Keller Williams Realty International. We had a leadership Zoom, and Keller Mortgage was on there, and they were talking about this initiative. So far, it's just Chase. They expect some other places to follow suit. They're making up some gap somewhere. Not really sure why, but that they've taken it upon themselves to increase those fees and interest rates. And Keller Mortgage has said that under no circumstances will they do that. So just so you know, there's another alternative for you. What else, you all? Those are great. Anything new? Nothing new?
Well, you can take all the SBA and PPP stuff and email it to all your clients who've got small businesses, and then call them and make sure they know about it.
Yeah, I mean, you would be amazed at the people that just don't know about it. I mean, when I was talking to my people, I had several that didn't even know that that was a possibility. It's just, today is a perfect time to call people and just say, number one, it's a happy 1 month anniversary, or you could technically call them tomorrow. The 14th really is the 1 month. So you could say, hey, it's been a month. How are you holding up? Congratulations on not having to file your taxes, right? Like there's so many things that you can, just reasons to call people and to reach out. And they love, and right now they're going to take your call. People want to hear from you. They want to hear from people. So when we go back and we look at the number of hours per day of doing lead gen, I'm going to challenge you all to 1 hour. 1 hour. That's it. Just one. Those of you who are doing several, keep at it, right? But if you've not been doing it up until now, 1 hour. And Meg, could you turn your microphone off for me, please? Hi, Reese.
Say hi.
Hi. So Meg, I'm totally going to just throw you under the bus right now. Okay?
Yes.
Strong girl. All right. I love you. Okay. What is your average commission?
I don't know those numbers. I'm horrible at that.
The last time I asked you that, you said you didn't know.
I know.
6,600.
Let's go with that. You know what? Let's just say 5,000. Let's go low. Okay? So let's go 5,000. So let's just say that you spend an hour a day and you add 12 people every single day to your database, because we know that whole conversion of for every 12, you should have one deal.
Mm-hmm.
So if you added 12 people, let's just say a week, I'm not even going to say a day, but we both know if you sat down and you were looking at Facebook and Instagram and you put those people in your database, it's going to be 12 a day. But again, we're not going to say 6,800, we're going to say 5,000. And we're not going to say 12 a day. We're going to say 12 a week.
Okay.
So we get one more deal per week. So 5,000 per week. How many weeks in a year? Let's just do hillbilly. Whoever's there talking to her, leave her alone.
No, I'm on the spot. I'm like, 52. I'm dumb. I've been alone in my house. Leave me alone.
You're not. Who can do this math for me?
Okay,
$260,000.
How much, Eric?
$260,000.
$260,000. Now, let's just break it down even more and say you only get 10% of that. You don't even do all that. You only get 10. That's $26,000 a year. Meg, how much does a trip to Disney World cost?
Like 15,000.
Oh,
More than that.
so Reese.
Oh, Reese, come back. She's eating Chipotle now. She doesn't care anymore.
It's okay. Bring your Chipotle over here by mommy.
Reese, come here. Oh. Hold
So
on. Yell.
No, you're fine. But just help her. Look, she's like, let me mute it so I can yell. It was like this, Meg. Here's what.
Pretty much.
But if you sat down with her and said, okay, Reese, every day I need for you to make sure mommy does this for 1 hour every day. Because if I do this, we can go to Disney World every single year. If I do this every day for 1 hour, Reese, if you can get mommy to do her homework every day for 1 hour, so maybe set a timer or set an alarm, then she can make enough money to take you all on a trip every single year.
To go to Disney World.
Wherever you want to go. For that kind of cheese, you can go wherever you want to go, right? But it's having that accountability in place. So with my kids, it's, would you like to go back to college in the fall? Great. Because if you would, here's what has to happen. And they get it, right? So it's getting a little buy-in from the other people who are in your home right now as to what needs to go on and why. You know, what activities do I need to do so that if we have to quarantine again in October, we quarantine in the Keys instead of here at home, right? I mean, that's a real thing. So if we can sit there and look at, if I just do this for 1 hour a day, you all, I'm not even trying to get you to do anything crazy, just 1 hour. So here's the key. If you figured out 1 hour a day to generate some new lead sources, whether that's from Facebook or wherever, right? Right now, it's just the easiest thing because you're home and you can cross-reference all those. But if you did that for 1 hour a day, and then you spent 1 hour a day on your smart plans and your follow-up, I cannot begin to tell you. I cannot begin to tell you. And I mean it right now. I have to do it too, you all. So I don't mind one bit if you said, hey, Kim, every day at like 3 o'clock, can we do this? Can we just have a little power hour and you share your screen and us just go through command and show me how to do an ad or show me how to set up a smart plan or whatever? I will be more than happy to do that.
So I have a question. When you say like go on Facebook for an hour and lead generate, like how and what does that look like?
So for me right now, what it looks like is, because I'm still on step 1 of updating all of my information in my database. So for me, I'm going through my friends list and I come down and I go, okay, Eric Ransom. And then I go over to command. Oh crap, I don't have Eric Ransom. So I'll put in Eric. And then I go back and I find his birthday and I find out his wife and I find out anything I can find out about him. And that's why I have all those other tabs open, because I mean, I had people's addresses, and when I went back and opened up the county clerk tab, well, Eric still had that address, but now he had another address that was a nicer home. And I could tell, oh, he's kept this one as a rental, and now this is where he physically lives. So I updated all that information. So that's how I'm using Facebook. The first thing that I was doing was going through and just looking at, because I wasn't really posting much on Facebook for a while, but when I started posting, I started going back and looking at who was seeing my stuff and who was commenting. And then I was going and cross-referencing that with my contacts in command. I mean, I'm telling you now, you could spend the rest of this quarantine just doing that.
No, that's helpful.
Correct.
I think of like, you know, the true just calling and saying like, hey, are you interested in buying a house? But I like that that's considered the lead gen and make you reach out to.
Yes. Well, it's because now when I'm putting my ad out there, they're going to see it. You know, anybody that's been searching for homes or doing anything on homes is going to see it. Little things like those little neighborhood updates, those little videos, you know, that you can do in command. And so now I can send those to people. And I'll tell you what I had to do, a little runaround real quick. Because right now, and Jamie Spread, I'm just calling you out because I know you're like the woman. Right now, when you do these little videos, and I'm sorry, it's on my phone. It's not, I don't have it where I can share my screen with you. But what I did, this last one that I sent to these folks, I wanted to text them. Oh, there we go. I wanted to text them this video. And I wanted to say, here's a little update on the neighborhood. I'll send these every other week. So right now, the only way you can do those videos is as just a Facebook post, like a generic Facebook post. Jamie, I can't see you. Have you played around with that any? Is that what you're finding to be true as well? These little videos.
Yeah, sorry, I had to unmute myself. Yeah, I only know that you can do them as a social post right now.
So that's what this was. And it's this little thing that gives you the market updates, you know? So I was wanting to send these individually to my friends. And so what I had to do was I had to, you can download it from command, and then I shared the video with myself. Well, when I emailed the video to myself, it comes across as the little box. You can't tell what it is, right? You have to open it. It looks like an attachment. So I opened it. I went into my bathroom because that's where it was quiet and dark with no reflections. And this video is actually me videoing my computer screen and being very, very quiet and I just turned on my screen record and played it. And then I cropped out the beginning where there was dead, weird sound or whatever, and cropped out the end and then sent it. So it's a little more work, but if you have multiple people in the same neighborhood, you can text that to them, right? And so then I just texted them a little thing and just said, here's a little update on the neighborhood since we're all locked down. That was it. They didn't say one word to me, okay? Not a word. They didn't reply. They didn't say anything. And these are friends of mine. And so about a week later, she texted me and said, or she calls me and she says, hey, Kim, we were getting ready to paint our basement, but now that I've seen that little thing you sent us and it shows that our home values aren't quite as much, should I do anything else besides paint? So, and I was so down too. I was like, man, I spent, because this was the first one I had done and it took me forever to figure out how, like a workaround so that I could text this to people. So this is obviously in my sending it to KWRI. I love the idea that this can be a Facebook post, but I don't always want to send out the neighborhood thing as a generic Facebook post. I want to send it specifically to a friend or whatever, and I want to be able to text it to them. So anyway, that's my workaround for the day. That's how I spend my days, ladies and gentlemen, figuring out how to cheat command.
Wait, I want to, Kim, I want to say that I think they now do have a download button, so you can text it.
Well, I did download it, but I couldn't text it.
Oh,
So
you're saying like it was goofy.
Yeah,
That's what
I
you're saying,
downloaded it. Yeah, and it would only, when I downloaded it, it still came across as just like, you know, a clear box with text in it.
I see what you're saying.
You couldn't see what it was. And so if I got something like that, I may think it was spam or, you know, I want to know what it is. So yeah, that's where I was trying to work around it or whatever. And the sound quality wasn't great because it's the sound from my screen record. But my point is, there's always something you can do that's a different source of lead generation. That's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. I'm constantly trying to figure out how can I learn more about command or how can I utilize it more and still do things that I need to do for real estate, right? Because I have other people that have been helping me do that, but I need to learn it anyway to help you all. So when I'm talking about lead generation, it's almost always going to be something like that because Meg, I never, or whoever said that, I'm not a big, hey, Holly, do you want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? That's not my thing. And if I started doing that, people would think there was something wrong with me. Like, what's going on? So you've got to do what's true to you. So when I'm thinking of different lead generation sources, to me, the quickest, easiest thing is going straight to social media because those are people that already see you, right? Like, I know I need to do a video today. I need to do something today where I'm bathed and have some makeup on because I did this video last week. And I did that specifically for all of you jerks that say, I don't want to do a video because I hate how I look and yada, yada, yada. I had gotten up from bed. I don't think I had washed my hair for 3 days. My hair was in a bun. I had no makeup on, and I was brave enough to stand in front of a window with natural light and do a video, right? And I looked like death warmed over, and over 400 people have looked at that video. So no one cares. Everybody looks like crap right now. So get over yourself, and just put it out there, right? Like just put it out there. Have something just to remind people that you're around.
Hey, Kim, I agree with you because I'm doing a virtual open house at Bob Webb, one of the houses I have listed with Bob Webb tomorrow night at 4:00. And so I had to do a little intro that said, hey, make sure that you show up at 4:00. I'm petrified to do that kind of stuff. They put it out at 10 o'clock this morning, and already there's 435 views.
See?
And it's just been a little bit of time, and it's just saying, hey, I'm going to be virtually live on Tuesday night at blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, I'm scared to death of video too, but hey, it is what it is at this point.
So, Holly, quick question. So you're going to actually be at the house
Yeah.
doing the virtual. That's
Yeah,
what
doing
you're
the
going-
virtual tour. What I did, they asked me to go to the house and just say, hey, I'm going to do a virtual open house on Tuesday at 4:00. And basically what we're going to do is say, this is our open house, and go room by room by room. Now, I'm not going to be on video the whole time, but I'm going to be the one talking, showing all the points and doing all of that. We've been doing all of our models like that and all of the inventory homes that we have, and they're getting upwards of 1,000 people on each view. So I mean, it's amazing how many people are looking at all these videos.
Yeah,
Get out and see them.
So Holly, yeah, a quick question on that. So are you just doing that video on your phone?
Yes, but I did order a stabilizer. So, and what that is I just hook my phone onto the stabilizer, and as I walk through, it keeps my phone steady and it doesn't go like this when I'm, so I just bought it at Best Buy. I went online, got it at Best Buy, and it'll, as you turn the room and everything, it just turns right with you.
So, okay, so where did you get the stabilizer?
Best Buy.
Oh.
I just went online and I said Best Buy, and I got the stabilizer, and I went and got in line, and they brought it right out to the car.
Okay, and do you know the brand and stuff? Could you?
Yeah,
share
I can get that. I can put that on our Facebook page. But I mean, it is really, it's like this big. You just clip your phone on it and you hold on to it, and you can also extend it. So if you're holding it out, you can hold it out like that, and it's not up to your face, really close up to your face or whatever. And as you walk, it just stabilizes the whole thing so that you don't, it doesn't go shaky.
That's great. Could you send the information?
Yeah, I'll
Thanks.
put it on the Facebook page.
Perfect. Thank you for doing that.
Absolutely.
Hey, Holly, and
Yeah.
I'll include Megan in on this also. I don't want to be an extremist, but you both talked about, Holly, you said you were nervous about doing
Petrified.
video, and Megan talked about not being too super comfortable making phone calls. I guess the question that I'd ask for both of you is, which scares you more, being able to eat or make your mortgage payment, or being able to make videos or getting on the phone call?
That's
You know what? I look at it this way, that one design we have that everybody keeps seeing, and it's got this ball and it says, this is your comfort zone. And then it's got all these balls out here that says this is outside your comfort zone. I've had to go to all those little balls because I'm not comfortable with video, but I agree. You got to pay your bills. And if not looking beautiful in a video is the only thing that you have to worry about, you're still getting lots of views.
I mean, and I just feel like I'm doing my part to make other people feel better about themselves.
Yeah. I am going to wash my hair for the video tomorrow, though.
Let's go, Eric Ransom, and then Taylor.
So I wanted to go back to the call thing again, and this isn't just for Megan, because I think we all think about it. When have we ever had a time that every single person in our database has a specific thing we could check in with them about? A school teacher, how are you holding up? Somebody with young kids, how is it having the kids at home that are, instead of school? Somebody who has college age kids, are the kids still in college or did they come home? Somebody that owns a small business, how are you surviving? Somebody that works in the restaurant industry or bartending or owns a big business. We have each one of them, we have specific things to talk to them about that we know they're facing and have nothing to do with buying and selling houses, but will get us down that road.
Yeah, and I've had luck with the calls. I mean, when I think of lead gen, I think of like leads that I have where I do have like a script for it. So I just kind of misinterpreted.
I've just been shocked.
no,
I hate to think it's stealth lead gen, but it just gets conversations started that you wouldn't otherwise be having.
Yeah, I've definitely
Absolutely.
had a lot of luck with that. And I've also, you know, really been referring out any contractors or relationships I have, like, you know, just bringing value. It is
Yeah.
nice to call and an excuse to share your people.
Yeah. Mr. Colin?
Yes, ma'am. I want to touch on the video. I'll say this. It's when you put yourself out there and you are vulnerable and it's not like perfect, people relate to that much more than like a perfect video that's edited to the T and stuff like that. Like, so what if your kid pops into the thing, right? So what if I did a Facebook Live open house and I couldn't unlock a door for about 15 seconds. I'm sitting here laughing at myself the whole damn time, and I'm like,
That's the one you tried to
I
tell
don't know how to do that, right? I mean, I don't know how you're gonna be able to unlock this door, but we'll get that figured out, I promise. You know, and but it creates a human element that people can relate to because right now everyone's vulnerable out there, and if you're able to connect through, you know, just being real and being transparent, I think that that's a better strategy than even trying to have this perfectly edited video while you're wearing a suit or whatever it is out there. Just my take on it.
No, I mean, I think right now, if we've learned anything in the last month, it's the fact that being vulnerable and transparent, you know, and just putting yourself out there, that we're all in the same boat right now. I feel like the playing field has been leveled a lot more and on a lot of different things, right? Not just, we were talking about financially a couple weeks ago. But I feel like right now, just knowing that we're all in the same boat, everyone has an appreciation. You know, mine was just a little joke about dishes. It had nothing to do with real estate. And being in contact with them and having conversations with people over a stupid dishes video, and then turning around and sending out text messages for Easter, now it makes the next conversation so much easier.
I agree with Taylor on not having to be perfect. I guess I just look at it as, how would I talk to the person if they were at the open house? Like, they want to know how high are the ceilings. Just tell them, you know, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, is tell them, you know, exactly the things that I would. I mean, you don't get a redo at an open house if you meet somebody, you know, you tell them what you tell them and then you go on. So.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I would say, like, what I have found is that the hardest part of lead generation is the first 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
What's the hardest part of doing a video is like the first, is like actually hitting the button, you know, of record. The hardest part of anything that you do during the course of your day is like the trigger to take the action, right? Whatever that is. And just do it. I mean, just hit the red record button, just pick up the damn phone, because it's never going to get easier until the more you do it.
Agreed. There are several things coming up this week that are wrapped around exactly what you all are talking about, just going about doing things a little bit differently. I will post a link. Jay Cermak just put a video out on YouTube. I'll post that link for you all. Please join the Facebook page, Pivot Shift Ahead. There are so many phenomenal ideas on there. It's open to agents from all brokerages, but there are some great content on that Facebook page. And then also put on your calendars for Friday, this Friday at 10 o'clock, Market of the Moment. There's a Zoom link on our Facebook page. It's already up there. I think Caleb made a really neat little flyer for that. I know it's Zach and Sue. Sue, do you want to tell them a little bit about that? Or just get on and watch it?
That's interesting. I was asked to do it, and that's all I know.
Okay, so be there and be supportive.
Oh, I don't know anything yet. So,
but I think I think it's obviously going to bring value when you have people that are willing to help and
what's
share.
our topic, Kim?
It's the market of the moment. So
Oh.
there's several different things on there, but it's basically just how we're all pivoting in this current market. So.
Well, I think the biggest thing is our committee got together and we had our ALC meeting, and I know Mary's on here too, is we are trying to make sure that we give as much value as we can, knowing that there's issues with title, there's issues with banking, what's going on in the market right now, and also, we don't want to say it, but there might be some short sales coming through the pipeline. So somebody that does short sales, we're just trying to make sure that we educate people as much as we can as the whole market center.
Sue, your topic is vision of the market after living through many downturns.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I know she sent me an email last week, and yeah. So
what Holly just
she
said.
asked me because I'm the oldest one in the market center, right?
Stop it. What Holly was just saying, interest rates and changes in lending policies, vision of the market, and then what can we expect in terms of changes with the title industry and short sales. So I just think it'll be really valuable. So thank you all so much. Oh, Eric.
Just one plug, guys. We are still having Red Day. Mo Anderson has made it clear that Red Day will go on. The day itself is May 18th. Obviously not going to be physically on site, but we are partnering with the Family Mentor Foundation. I have an interview with their director this afternoon that we're going to record on Zoom. It'll be, at least a portion of it will be played on the 11 o'clock
Talk about it Tuesday tomorrow. Talk about it Tuesday.
It'll be made available, but
it'll be on there.
Spread the word. We're still going to make an impact, and we need everybody's help to do that. It's going to become, financial. Obviously, we can't be hands-on, but, a little bit from everybody in our market center and whoever they're connected with, we can really make some impact for this organization, and they probably need it now, more than ever. So
absolutely.
Stay tuned for more information on that.
Thank you, Eric. Yeah, please mark your calendars for tomorrow at 11. Talk about it Tuesday. Thank you all so much. If you have any questions or need anything at all, please call me, text me. I'm right here in my little haven. Love you guys. Have a great one.
Thanks, Kim.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thanks.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you. Have a good one, Meg.
You too.